Ladies and gentlemen, please give a forceful welcome to Mr. John Boyega.
Hello. Wait, let me just upload this to Snapchat. Loving these guys. They are great. There we go.
I noticed there's one kid over here dressed like Kylo Ren.
Oh, man.
Boo.
I'm so scared right now.
And there's someone else over there dressed like Darth Vader.
Where?
I don't have the heart to tell him that he's not
like
in the movie.
a dark side assembly or something?
It's been a couple of busy few days for you. You were just in London, and before that, you were Australia. And do you know what day it is right now?
No. I don't even know what year it is right now. It's just ridiculous.
Well, as you know, I am, of course, a very professional film critic when it comes to most movies, but when it comes to Star Wars and things like that, I just devolve into a drooling fanboy. So I have been obsessing over the trailer that we just watched. I've been studying all the pictures. And, you know, before the movie came out, Mr. J.J. Abrams does a very good job of keeping a pretty tight lid on what the movie's all about. Yeah. We see pictures of you. You're a stormtrooper, but you're holding a lightsaber. You seem like a bad guy. You seem like a good guy. Is he the new Luke? Is he the new Han? But I've seen the movie, and Finn is Finn.
Damn right. Damn right.
So let's forget about trying to put him in what he was in the old movies. Finn and the other characters, Rey and Poe and all these guys, are their own guys. I want to talk to you a little bit about how you and JJ and the writer Lawrence Kasdan discussed the character. From the when you first knew you got the job to the first day of shooting. What was that process like, creating the character in your head before you went out there and started running around with laser swords and blasters?
It was an interesting process. I mean, I first heard about Star Wars after Disney bought Lucasfilm for like, £4 or something. And then they announced that JJ was on board for a new Star Wars movie. See, as an actor, you tend to think, okay, where's the opportunity going to come from? And finally, Femi, my agent, called me and just told me that we have an audition for you. It's for the new Star Wars movie. And the breakdown was boy one, charming, funny, hero. Girl one, strong, independent, hero. And I'm like, come on, guys, you need to be more than this. But then I went into audition, and through the process, JJ gave me notes that then carved from the rock of confusion the Finn that we know today. How many people have actually seen the movie in here?
A lot of them have.
Wow.
Yeah, you've
Good
been doing
Lord.
so much press where you got to keep quiet. This is for posterity. This is for iTunes. We can talk about everything here.
Oh, so guys, the scene when... there must be some people that haven't
There are
watched
some people that haven't seen, but they've been warned that we're not going to give everything away, but we may talk a little more than you've been talking in the past.
Yeah, I mean, the exit door's open, right?
Yeah, we're not forcing them to stay here.
All right, then.
We are no
Let's
Captain
go.
Phasma. We're not
Let's go.
keeping you here against your will.
Cool.
So the part now. What's interesting? This is a New York crowd. This is a hip crowd.
Yeah.
They've all seen you in the marvelous motion picture Attack the Block, right?
Wow. Wow.
Moses in Attack the Block. At first, you're not so sure if he's a good guy, and at the end, you would take bullets for this man. You love him more than anything.
I mean, Hollywood thinks they seem to call me for the anti-hero all the time.
The anti-hero who then becomes, And I think there are some similarities between the two characters. Is that something that you were cognizant of while you were making this film?
Not at all. I mean, Star Wars is just a whole different thing. It's a whole different thought process. For me, Moses was quite stoic and silent in most of the scenes and was very serious. Finn, however, is more has more comedic values and is slightly more quirky and is only brave when he needs to be, not necessarily because he wants to.
Yeah, well, there is a lot of humor in the film, and most of the funny scenes are with you because you're pretending to be somebody you're not.
Right.
You're in very extreme circumstances.
Yeah.
And I just want to talk a little bit about the characters that you play opposite. So the first guy that you meet in the movie, and I absolutely love it, is Oscar Isaac's Poe Dameron, the very dreamy, handsome, beautiful Oscar Isaac.
Gosh, man.
And what I love about Star Wars in general, what I love about you two guys is you meet and like it's 20 seconds later and you feel like you guys have known each other your entire lives.
Yeah.
There's instant chemistry.
Yeah.
So Oscar Isaac is a real person that we all love. It's a stupid question, but what was it like working with Oscar Isaac? He's a pretty cool guy.
Honestly, it's hard looking away from his face because, good Lord, is he handsome. But apart from that, I mean, Oscar's a cool guy, very laid back, very funny and charming, and we had a natural relationship when we met during the casting process. So doing those scenes, even though Finn and Poe meet each other, and then the next second they're in danger, there was time to feel like these guys have been brothers for years. And that's the feeling that I definitely wanted to portray.
Well, in the movie Ex Machina, we see him dance. And in, of course, Inside Llewyn Davis, we see him sing.
Yeah.
Did you see him sing and dance off camera at all? And he's
always shaking his waist. I don't get it. He's got those, he's got them hips. So,
if I had those hips, I'd shake them around too. Now, you talk about the casting process. People are familiar with, you go out for a part, you audition, you read some lines, you go home by the phone, they call you got the part. It didn't work like that for this. This was a pretty lengthy struggle to get this role. How long did it take, soup to nuts?
7 months.
7 months?
Yeah, I aged during the process. I got kids, grandkids. It's crazy.
7 months is you can practically have a baby in 7 months.
Yeah, literally. But it was a long process, and I understand now after making the movie. I understand why it was so long. I mean, if I bought a company for $4 billion, I'd make sure those kids audition for 3 years, mate. I'm trying to make that money back. But
did you get to know and eventually there's 1,000, then there's 500, then there's 7 or 8. Did you get to know the other guys who were in for Finn? I mean, was there?
No. I didn't want to get to know that were auditioning.
Yeah, you must see them in the room.
That's not my problem. No.
It's not like you're in the doctor's waiting room next, and then you come in.
That would be so. That's mean. But thank you to Disney for keeping us separate during the tests. However, I put approximately 3 friends on tape for Finn, and I was behind the camera reading as Ray to them.
Oh wow!
Yeah, just to help them out, and during those process, you help your friends. But after my 3rd friend was going up for the part, I'm just here like. Where's my opportunity? Where's my spot? But it ended up working out anyway.
It worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned Ray, so this is the next character you meet in the story. This is, of course, Daisy Ridley's character, Ray, the mysterious Ray. There are still... What's great about this movie is that when it's done, you can go on the internet and still ask questions about who some of these people are.
Yeah.
Daisy, like yourself, is from Great Britain, Rule Britannia, a very young person like yourself. Whereas you had lots of film experience before her, she really had done very little work that we'd seen. This is kind of her first big deal.
Sure.
As the 2 young guys who are British on this major film, was there an instant bonding on that level alone? I mean,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's so funny coming onto a project like this. People would expect it to feel Hollywood, and to me, I don't really mess with that Hollywood stuff. Just the feeling of it is just because I'm a Londoner. So coming onto a project that is a big Hollywood film, it didn't feel like it because of Daisy, because she's so fresh and new and would always ask questions if she didn't know anything. So there was a very raw humility to her, and it was great for me to experience that. Yeah,
and she's just remarkable in the movie. It's going to be really interesting to watch all of your characters change over the 3 films, but I think hers, I'm still curious about what's going to happen with her.
Yeah.
The next very important character you meet, some might say the heart of the movie itself, BB-8.
Ah, BB-8. Love BB-8.
Now, Poe Dameron kneels down, squats in front of the beach ball a lot, and still looks cool. I don't know how he does it. But
I don't know how he does it either, because when I do it, it's just like...
Well, there's a part in the movie, and again, there's a lot of funny scenes, where you actually hold BB-8. And I think you're the only person in the film that holds and caresses BB-8 for a moment.
Look, it wasn't a caress. It was just one stroke, okay? It's one stroke.
How much does BB-8 weigh? Is it heavy? Is it because this is not a prop? It's a real machine. I mean,
yeah, I had to hold hero BB-8, and you guys don't do kilograms over here, but I do. But it's like holding myself. It's not easy at all. But it was cool doing that for the whole day, and that's actually the last shot that I shot during production was holding BB-8.
And then you threw it down on the ground and said, I'm done.
And then it was like, it's a wrap. Like, I'm expecting my last shot on Star Wars to be with like a lightsaber and snow and wind. Yeah, I was just holding BB-8.
But everybody here is a fan, but for maybe people listening, watching later, it's not just a movie prop. It is a working, it's not alive, but there is machinists behind it, but it really does.
This is the crazy thing about that. I know that BB-8 isn't alive, but there's something that happens to your mind when the droid continues to move in between takes. Like when you're walking on set and you see BB-8 just go, hey man, it's like, hey, okay, all right, I'll see you later. It's strange because he continuously moves. It's like being at Disneyland, They make you feel like, Mickey Mouse is real when really Mickey Mouse is just like Nathan Hector with a cigarette, It's just so interesting to see.
Well, all right, so we've talked about these early introductions. We actually have a clip. For those of you that have seen the movie are going to realize how great the clip is now in retrospect, and the people who haven't seen it aren't going to know why we're laughing. That's why we're better than they are. So what we're going to do is dim the lights, and we're going to show this very, very short clip. You have no idea what the next frame of that shot is. It's so cool. So one thing that you may notice, other than it looks great and BB-8's real and oh my God, there's things exploding, is Finn does not speak with a British accent.
No.
Ray does.
Yeah.
She got to keep her British accent.
She did.
You were working with an American accent.
Yeah.
Who decided that?
I think it was a number of people actually. Predominantly JJ and myself. But I tried to do Finn in the British. It really doesn't work. I promise you. I sound sexy like this just because it's me, guys. Honestly, it's just because it's me. As Finn, it just doesn't work. In terms of the pace, in terms of the tone, the energy, it wouldn't work. So we did it American, and that was how I felt. I felt comfortable doing it that way.
So you did try it out the other way. It was a process.
I did. We need a pilot. Nah, bro. Nah, man. No. It was just more. There was an energy that the accent gave to him, especially to the comedy, that made it just more grounding as a character.
Well, here's something that a lot of British people don't know, and all the Americans won't agree publicly, but privately they are. All Americans envy the British accent.
Why?
We all envy the British accent, and we wish. So whenever we hear British people speak an American accent, it's like, oh wow, I wish we could do the reverse. They get to do it this way.
Yeah.
So who did you listen to? Was it a vocal coach, or did you watch old movies, or just happen naturally? You're an actor. You know how to do these things.
I don't mean to toot my own horn, people. I didn't have a vocal coach in it. But I've been a big fan of my favorite movies are American. So growing up, when you go to school and you talk to your friends about your favorite line, it will be in an American accent. So I have friends who are not actors at all, who can speak in an American accent perfectly.
Wow.
Just because it's always something that you've listened to growing up, and your favorite films are American, your favorite, movie heroes are American. So it just felt like a creatively natural, good choice.
That's really interesting. So continuing then with the story, you then meet two other very important characters.
Yes.
One of whom, who should we save the best for last? Well, let's go to my personal favorite next.
Yeah.
He's not a human. He happens to be a Wookiee, Chewbacca.
Yeah.
You meet Chewbacca, and you run around.
Does his hair a Wookiee sound?
You're running around shooting things and chasing and going, and well, you don't do it like that, but that's how I would do it. That's why.
We'll be in touch.
How is that not playtime? How does that work? You look up and it's not like, oh, they'll do that in post. There's a man dressed like Chewbacca, Peter Mayhew, not just any man.
Yeah.
dressed like Chewbacca running around with you.
Yeah.
At what point do you just go, this is insanity?
No, it was insanity. I mean, my last screen test for the role, JJ came up to me and JJ was just like, we really want you, you know, to book this part, but in order for us to do that, we need you to have a really good eye line. And he brought out Chewie. And I'm just like, you know what? Just roll the cameras because this is so emotional for me right now. It was Chewie in real life, just walk and, you know, just doing the whole, and I was like, wow, it's right there. And to perform with him on set is a whole other experience because it's a symbol. It's like I'm in a Star Wars movie. I'm replying to Chewbacca right now. I'm like holding him and stuff.
Wow.
You know? I hugged him all the time. I mean, there were moments you get back in the car, you're like, Chewie.
Now, I know that they put the sound effects in afterwards. I know how movies are made. I don't want to, but behind the scenes, what does Chewbacca sound like? I mean, does the guy in the costume, whether it's Mayhew or someone else, do they go, or is it?
So they have this fantastic guy called Jonas, and Jonas has been a huge Chewbacca fan since he was a kid. And Jonas just so happens to be built like Chewie, is the same height that Peter was back in the day, knows how to do the bow leg run, and knows how to do the voice too. Like, does it extremely well. So he would do it on set.
Really?
Yeah,
wow,
live.
with the mask on and just would actually
he would do it, like, seriously.
Wow.
It was crazy.
I don't speak Wookiee, but Chewie gets some great lines in the movie.
Yeah, really great lines.
And
he's feeling himself these days, isn't he? Like he thinks he knows. That's what I'm talking about. Chewie's just like, I've been there, done that, whatever.
Well, with Chewbacca comes, of course, someone else, and we know who we're talking about, Han Solo. Harrison Ford, a legend in films and iconic. I mean, it's like Han Solo is up there, like Charlie Chaplin's The Tramp, and somewhere on that shelf is Han Solo. I mean, it's up there.
Yeah.
So you and Daisy and Chewbacca are in many scenes in this film running around shooting blasters with Han Solo and Chewie.
Yeah.
Did he, you know, he's an elder statesman. You're, you know, a young man. Daisy, even more of a novice. Did he kind of give you a little bit, you know, some advice on how to do this type of movie, or?
No. No, literally, no. Harrison's, well, first of all, I have to say this. Harrison's my best friend. Honestly, he is. He won't exactly say it like that, but he is. And it's pretty cool having an actor like Harrison who has been there and done that. To see him relive the excitement of coming back is just ridiculous. Like, Harrison was as passionate and was as enthusiastic as if this was his first movie. And so for me, it was really enjoyable working with someone who was still buzzing to just go on set and shoot.
Wow. You know, it sounds like you're joking, best friends, but I read that when you were in London a few days ago, this was probably something you wanted to keep private, but got out in the news anyhow. You took him to, like, your where you grew up, the neighborhood you grew up, and your favorite restaurant as a kid.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that experience, or?
Yeah, I mean, it was while we were filming, we were on the Falcon, as you do. And I was, like, by the chess set, just messing around, and he was just like, Boyega, I really want to go to a spot that's, you know, really want to go to a spot that's enjoyable. I'm sick of chicken breast and veg. So, you know a place? I was just like, yeah, man, you can come to where I grew up. So I was just like, you know, you're going to have to, like, ditch the security, though, because that would just be too much. You just go with me, we'll eat some food. And he's just like, okay, cool. And we went to just, like, 10 minutes from where we shot Attack the Block, actually. We just went to the area and we sat down and we just had Nigerian food, like, and he was ordering everything. Wow. And, you know, for people who are African Caribbean, you know, you get a bit of that's just like a sleep medicine after that. Harrison was slumped in the car back. He was just like, the food just got him, and he does well with the spices too. But people were starstruck. But the thing about Nigerians are, you know, Nigerians are kings regardless what the bank account is saying. So after a certain amount of time, they can, you know, we were able to just have a normal meal, which was fun.
Wow. That is a cool story. That is a cool story. Well, let me consult my iPhone for a moment because I did jot down some questions.
Honestly.
I read on the internet that Daniel Craig was a stormtrooper one day.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No. I didn't get none of the cool people on my set.
Simon Pegg was also.
Yeah, Simon Pegg was there.
He's your old buddy.
But Simon Pegg was there. Like, you know that cousin that just never leaves your house? That's what Simon Pegg was like on the Star Wars set. It's like, Simon, you're done filming, you can go, man. He's just like, no, I want to see Han Solo. Yeah. He was there all the time.
Captain Phasma, played by Gwendolyn Christie.
Yes.
Who never takes off her helmet in the movie.
Yeah.
She's your boss at first.
Yeah, she is.
And then you kind of tell her what time it is.
Yeah. I'm in charge now. I'm in charge.
How much? I'm sure you've had crappy jobs over the years. How much fun was it to tell your boss to go take a hike?
I've never done that in real life, but what I did convey was the energy of all the stress I got from my previous bosses forced into that one scene. So I did, take the mick a few times. I mean, the shot that you see in the movie was actually one version of like 15 versions that we shot where I was just talking smack to this silver thing. So it's pretty cool working with Gwen. And isn't she like scary in that thing? And fierce. She's really cool.
Yeah. I would imagine that, like, in between takes, she would take the helmet off, but still be wearing the. I'm really hoping photos of that.
But you know what? I was just like, you know what? That's my girl from Game of Thrones with an upgraded suit. I was just like, yeah, that's how to come back for season 6. Is Jon Snow dead?
You shot the movie in England, as you mentioned. There were some shots I don't think you were involved in Ireland and Iceland. The production went there.
Yeah, wasn't involved.
But you went, all those scenes on the planet Jakku were in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit what it's like to fly to a very faraway place and make the biggest movie of the decade?
I mean, let's just say, man, the flight is obviously fantastic. You have time to think about what you're about to get yourself into. I mean, I was going through notes and just really thinking to myself, okay, I'm going to do the first take as Finn in the desert of Jakku. I got to really bring it. And so for me, I was just fixed in concentration. But then when I got to set in the desert, JJ was just like, okay, all you have to do is walk for your first day. I was just like, what? Oh, no, where's my monologue? Where's my whole, save the day and that stuff? He was like, no, you're just walking. And I was walking for my first day in the desert, literally just walking. And Daisy was doing dialogue, stunt fights. My day finished at like 12:30. Her day finished at like 6 p.m. I'd come onto Daisy's set and just be there with like a tropical juice, be like, yeah, good work, love. Doing well. Love that stuff, love.
Was it really hot out? I mean, it was
really hot, and I had to obviously wear the stormtrooper outfit in that heat, and that was excruciating. I mean, most of the behind-the-scenes shots you will see is just wet towels, ice buckets, and me just like, because it was so hot, but it helped for the scene. And as a Star Wars fan, we all know that Anthony Daniels did 6 movies in a similar type of suit. So I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to do it.
Awesome. Well, listen, the time has come. We are now going to ask a few questions from the audience, and these gentlemen with the red.
Hi there. So how does it feel to finally be able to speak about Star Wars after all this time?
It feels unnatural. Because for years we've been, JJ and Disney didn't have to force us as a cast to agree not to say anything. I think that for all those who've seen Star Wars spoiler-free, it's quite the experience, and it brings you back to the old days of filmmaking where you didn't necessarily, you couldn't tell the whole movie from one trailer. And I'm a big movie buff, and I'm a big advocate of going to see a film and being surprised. And so I just kept my mouth closed. But it does feel good to just discuss it now and fanboy out, literally.
Oh, hi. Actually, that was kind of the question I was going to ask, but I guess follow-up question. Have you read the script for episode 8, and can you tell us everything that happens in it? Thank you.
A long time ago in the galaxy. I have read a script. Woo! Yeah, man. 2 years. Break. Another 2 years. Gosh, I'm gonna go crazy.
Hi, I'm a film student currently, and I'd love to hear more about working with JJ and kind of like what you look for in directors.
For me, I always like a director with a good balance. And what I mean by good balance is enough vision, number one, and then enough freedom for the actors to be able to do their jobs. So the style of acting that I choose to take for each role, I love to be the character. I love to become it, not in a method type of way, but in a scene. I like to watch a movie I'm in back and feel like I can't remember doing that stuff. Like watching Star Wars, half of the things Finn does in that film, I can't remember making a decision to do it, because it was there was instinct and there was freedom and there was the ability to be able to be creative. And JJ is a big advocate of that. I mean, we would start a scene with the dialogue and he would be like, all right, let's just do your version. And let's just do a version that you guys feel free with. And that's how Harrison works as well. And improv really makes way for magical moments. And when you have a director that has a good enough balance to understand the technical point of view for at least a good shot, color correction, visual effects, practical effects, but then he has artistic knowledge also for character arcs, dialogue, and fun. It's always good. So that's what I look for.
Yeah, it's really the whole package. I mean, the movie really moves, and it's beautiful to look at.
He's fantastic.
Did he do the thing? Did he do this? Play the drums on the microphone?
Oh my gosh, you know about that? Yeah, he did. How'd you know about that?
I know a few things.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he did do that.
It's a little annoying, right?
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, it's like, JJ, I don't need a beat. I'm trying to fight Kylo Ren. Like, come on. Yeah.
Hey, John, huge fan. I watched Attack of the Block,
Thank you.
Huge fan of Force Awakens. My question is, what was it like when you first met such a legendary cast with Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford? What was it like meeting them for the first time?
Oh, it was really cool. I met Harrison for the first time while in stunt training with Adam, and he just walked in and just, you know when celebrities do this thing, and I say celebrities because I'm not used to this whole celebrity thing with myself, so I don't call myself a celebrity. But Harrison was just like, hey, I'm Harrison Ford. Like, I know, bro. Like, what the hell? Like, I know you're Harrison. And he was really charming, and it was surreal to see him there because I'd read the script, but to see someone right in front of you ready to start filming was a whole different feeling. And I met Mark and Carrie Fisher at dinner, and there was a real magical moment where all three of them met each other in a corner of the table and just embraced each other. And I was just there like, Snapchat! It was such a good moment to see them bonding, and the way they were with me and Daisy, they really embraced us on this journey. We didn't feel like there was a big gap between the old generation and the new. We felt like this was an ensemble cast. And so they're fantastic. They're great.
All right, so I'm cheesy. I just want to know, what was your favorite line to deliver from the film? Like, what did you love the most to say?
I love, I don't want to spoil it for people, but I'll just do it. The chin act. I loved doing that because it was just a natural thing. Like, Harrison just kept on, I was like, why are you always doing that, bro? Like, come on, stop. So it was a good thing for me to implement into that line. And we tried like 26 versions of that one moment, which I pray they obviously releasing behind the scenes. But that was a line that I've found most fun.
Hey, John.
Hey.
So kind of like a two-part quick question. So now that you're in this iconic franchise where people legit, have weddings themed of Star Wars, like it kind of brings this like heavy responsibility. Like, did that ever come into your thought process during filming? And then secondly, I just got back from Disney, and you're like the star of the Star Tours ride, which is awesome. Yeah. And has there been a point yet where you're walking down the street and like see yourself on a Taco Bell cup and are like, this is insane? Like, what's the craziest place you've seen yourself?
I remember when, and I'll give it to you guys, I tried to go on a date with a girl who knew nothing about me, which was fantastic. You know, you're trying to go fresh like Prince Hakeem, you know? Just trying to be like, you know what I mean? You're just trying to, I want her to love me for who I am, you know? And I pick her up, we're in a car, and I'm like, you know, talking to her and saying, you know, we're going to a nice dinner. And this was in New York, by the way. We get to Times Square, and she's like, what do you do? I'm just like, that's ruined the whole situation. And for me, like, that's the craziest experience, is seeing myself just kind of elevated. But not only that, but within the Star Wars realm, it's so crazy to me to see that. I mean, I don't know how actors get over it. I'll probably be here like in 5 years, like, meh. But it is for now, it is quite the experience to see myself like that.
I'm frequently talking about what is the best movie of the year. Star Wars is certainly a contender for the top spot. But I know for certain what the best short film of the year is. The best short film of the year is a video of you watching the trailer for the first time. So, come on, that was take 8. That was take 9, right?
No. So literally that night I went to a Lakers game, and all these players were just like, yo, man, you're dope in the trailer, man. You should watch it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go see the trailer. The trailer must be out. So I left the stadium, went to my agent's house, Phil, and then he played the trailer, and I just went crazy. Like, do you know how it feels to see yourself in a Star Wars movie with a saber?
No, we don't.
To Han?
None of us know.
Exactly. And that's the point. That's the point. It's a strange feeling. So I couldn't handle it. I had to jump over that sofa. I was like, nah, this is crazy. Crazy.
It's true. No, it really was an exuberant moment and really fun. And I think at the end of the day, we're all fans of the movie. And it's just really cool to experience that through you, because you're a fan also.